Welcome back, bosses. I want to talk about a really frustrating mindset myth that just keeps floating around. It's this idea, false idea, that fear never goes away. Bullshit. Look, if you are in your business, if you've got goals in your life, you've got a vision that you're working towards, and you feel fear right now, yes, that's normal. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, if you're struggling to take action because fear is just wearing you down, naturally you're gonna wanna quit. And that's what I don't wanna happen. I want you to understand that fear goes away. It definitely, absolutely can go away. And in fact, I bet you can think of at least 3 examples in your own life of times where you are afraid of something that you're no longer afraid of. And I don't care if you have to go back to like being 7 years old and learning how to ride a bike. See, here's what happens. A lot of people will say, well, that was just riding a bike. It wasn't that big of a deal. But to your 7-year-old self, it was freaking terrifying. And it didn't feel like that big of a deal until you got past it, until you mastered the skill and you realized that your fear wasn't real. And you realized that after the fact, you could do this. You were bigger and better than you thought. Whatever it is in your life that you are facing, that you are fearing, that you don't think will go away is just like that little kid trying to learn how to ride a bike, or your first day at school, or dating the person that you're now married to. All of these things that may have been terrifying that are no longer terrifying. That's exactly where you are right now. If you're in that place where you're facing something that you're afraid of, it's only because you're on this side of it. And as you begin to do the work necessary, that fear absolutely goes away. In fact, I've had instances where I thought that the thing that I feared was just not who I was. Like, I'm just not a public speaker. That's not who I am. I don't want to be that person. And it's really easy to confuse our fear with fact, right? It's really easy to say that's not who I am or this is who I am, simply because it's who you've been up to this point, and allowing fear to keep you there instead of allowing yourself to continue to grow. I faced this situation for myself. It was probably about 8 years ago now, where I was invited to go on the Ricky Lake show as a green living expert. Now, I was not a green living expert, but I had a green living website that just taught people how to live green, how to live naturally. And they wanted me to come on as the expert. And they gave me 3 weeks notice. And I was terrified. Everything inside of me said, I'm not an expert. I'm not a public speaker. I'm gonna choke. I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm not gonna be able to breathe. I'm gonna sound stupid. All of the fears were going through my mind. But I made the decision to say yes before I could talk myself out of it, because I knew that if I allowed my fear to make that choice, I would regret it for the rest of my life. So I had 3 weeks to figure out how the F do you overcome something that's so deeply ingrained it just feels like who you are. Now, granted, at this time, I had already been doing belief breakthrough work for a couple of years. So the fact that I was facing this was like, okay, do these tools actually work? Can I actually make this happen? In 3 weeks, you guys, I went from not being able to breathe, not being able to hold my bladder, having so much constriction in my body when I just thought about the idea of going out on stage, to not just going out there comfortably, not just going out there confidently, but y'all, I danced out on that stage when they called my name.
Please welcome Tara.
I was terrified of public speaking, but fear goes away. And because I allowed myself to embrace that, I allowed myself to do something that I just, to this day, I'm so glad that I did. It changed everything about what I believed about myself and what I thought I was capable of. And the same exact thing can happen to you. It doesn't matter what your goal is. It doesn't matter what you're afraid of. The same exact mechanisms that were happening in your brain to tell you that riding a bike or doing whatever was scary, and now you know it's not, those same mechanisms are telling you right now that this thing you're facing is terrifying, that something bad is going to happen, that people are going to judge you, that you're going to be a failure, that you're going to be a success, and what will that mean? Doesn't matter what the fear is, the fear can go away, because all it is a mechanism in your brain designed to keep you safe. And as soon as your brain starts to realize that you can grow and experience new things and do fun, adventurous things and still be safe, then the fear will start to go away. Now, what I've found over coaching women for the last 10 years is that fear doesn't generally go away in an instant. Sometimes it will. Sometimes somebody will experience a breakthrough and it's amazing and they have this total shift. But if they don't then nurture that shift, they fall back into where they were. More often than not, though, what happens is that it slowly de-escalates. So it goes from fear to just nervousness. Nervousness is when you have the jitters and you have some of the thoughts going through your mind saying, I can't do this, or it's dangerous, or what will people think? But they're not as strong. They're easier to divert. And then from nervousness, it goes down to excitement. And in excitement, you can still have the jitters. You can still want to pee your pants. You can still feel all of the physical things, but you don't have the thoughts in the back of your mind telling you can't, you're not good enough, you're stupid, this isn't safe, what will people think, this isn't going to work, and so on. So how do we make fear go away? There are two main ways that you're going to do this. The first is by creating new positive experiences. If you have an experience or even just a lack of experience that tells you something will be negative, then all you need to do is show your brain through new positive experiences that that's not true, and your brain will pick it up pretty quickly. However, I find that this works best when the fears are not super deeply ingrained. Like if we're talking phobias, maybe it will work and maybe you'll need to do some of the second strategy I'm going to talk about. If we're talking about smaller, minor things, then it's just as simple as getting yourself into new experiences. But here's the thing, you got to make sure that those experiences are going to be positive so that they rewrite your understanding of those experiences, which means you need to pull out all the stops and do whatever you can do. The second is by tackling the underlying mechanisms of fear. See, fear is like an onion layer, right? Like you peel it back, you peel it back, you peel it back. There's different layers that you need to address. You need to know how to address them, when to address them, in what order to address them, and you need to understand how to get to the core of it. Because if you're dealing with a big fear, at the core of it is going to be a belief. And when I say belief, I don't mean like, I believe I'm going to be bad at this, or I believe that, these things are going to happen. Those are kind of surface level thoughts and assumptions. That's very different than a core belief. A core belief is a blanket statement that kind of lays across everything and warps everything. It's like looking through a lens. If you're looking through a blue colored lens, everything you see is going to have a blue tint to it. What we get to do is get to the core of that belief, peeling it back until we understand what's really at the core of this. Now, if you want to understand what all of these layers are, I have a free training that walks you through each one of these, and it'll teach you the exact breakthrough formula that I used when I was overcoming my own belief of public speaking. So if you're curious what I use with my clients, what I teach in my courses, what I use for myself, this will show you all of those layers and levels, how they interact, what order to do them in, so that you can go in and actually get to work on this underlying fear. If you want to grab that, it's called Bottlenecks to Breakthroughs, and the link is down below this video. But I just want you to remember as you do that, fear can go away. Whatever it is that you're facing right now is just bullshit. Well, let me say this. It's not always bullshit. Sometimes there's some very legitimate reasons for that fear. But the idea that you will always feel this, that it will never go away, that you can't feel comfortable and confident doing what you're doing, that is bullshit. I want you to hold on to that belief. I want you to understand that the way you feel now is not your destiny. This is not the way you have to feel for the rest of your life or throughout your business. You can feel however you decide to feel if you're willing to do the work to create that in yourself. Yes, it will take time and patience. Sometimes it could happen in a matter of weeks. Sometimes it may take longer depending on the work that you yourself get to do. But I want you to remember to do it, to put yourself all into it, to know that it can happen for you, and to stop believing this bullshit blanket idea that fear never goes away. It may not go away before you need to go and do the thing, right? Sometimes you get to go and do the things and create the experiences and then it goes away. But it will go away if you do the right work in the right order, in the right timing, consistently. You can do this. Don't allow any false idea to tell you that you're not capable of feeling confident and happy and competent and able to do the thing that you're put on this planet to do. By the way, if you are brand new here, thanks for listening to my soapbox. My name is Tara Wagner. I'm a belief breakthrough coach. I've been helping women since 2010 overcome their limiting beliefs by getting their heads, their hearts, their habits in the right place so they can crush their goals, not their soul. If you are a female entrepreneur and would love to talk more about mindset, productivity, getting things done, crushing goals, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, drop me a comment below to say hello, introduce yourself, tell me what it is you do, give this video a thumbs up. All of those things help me out so much in the algorithm. I super appreciate them. And of course, share this video with anyone that you know needs to hear this message. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.